Welcome everyone to another episode of Hanging in Bear Country. I'm your host, Brian Martinez. With me always is
Joe's Pizza Shack.
Come on back. Come on back. Such a good hot streak.
Get a free special.
Guys,
2 for $5.
He relapsed, guys.
Get that
right.
pepperoni.
He relapsed.
Pineapple.
We got some new.
He's
Shut
hungry.
up. Shut up.
I think he's hungry.
We have some recurring guests back with us. Would you guys like to reintroduce yourselves to the audience?
I'm
at home?
Malika.
For the probably, I don't know. I stopped counting
How many
time.
times?
I'm Isaiah Landry. You should know me by now.
Yep. And
Yeah.
if you don't, then that's a
Yeah,
big
been
lot
watching.
of your problem.
You
Yeah,
clearly
you haven't been watching.
All right, so it's Halloween Eve.
Halloween
Yes.
All
Eve.
Hallows
Oh,
Eve.
yeah.
Oh, Hallows
We
Eve.
have
There we go.
Halloween.
The studio all dressed up. We have a shark, a cockroach behind the camera,
And a
Monkey.
and a monkey.
Mhm.
Yeah, you can't see it.
I don't think
yeah.
they'd want to. I don't think they'd
Yeah,
want to.
that's what we
It's-
have.
All I'm saying is that, but behind the camera, it's a bit of a fever dream going on
Yeah.
back there.
It is.
Yeah,
it
it's
We're
is.
getting in the spirit
Yeah.
for Halloween.
And what's it called?
I think the
I think-
cockroach is about to come in right now.
All right,
I don't think
well,
it's
Do we have an
That'll happen
infestation?
Yeah, he's
An
right.
infestation.
We do.
There he is.
Oh,
Okay.
no.
Oh,
Wait,
We
my
love
I
you,
think-
Carlos.
Yeah, and I think you're seeing stuff.
schizo.
I'm you.
Oh,
Like,
God.
there's a
No.
video.
Yeah,
So-
we're actually not here. Brian's just imagining.
So
Yeah.
speaking
Yeah.
of
No
like,
Brian Martinez.
of seeing things that aren't there, I think another big thing that's like starting to rise up is analog horror.
Oh,
you
for
know,
sure.
and,
Yeah.
like, and a lot of stuff. I think my personal favorite of, or like an example of this, back rooms, but specifically not necessarily the back rooms, because that's
The
been
Kane
being
Pixel
half to
one,
death.
right?
Not even that. My favorite like bit of analog horror, and I wouldn't even call it that, but it's the 6-hour long album Everywhere at the End of Time.
That is very-
yeah,
That is,
the,
I remember. Okay, I remember. I was like, just because it was during quarantine when I first found it,
Mhm.
and I was just chilling, and my friend was like, "Dude, you need to listen to this." So he sent me the first one, which is like mid-memed half the death stuff. Wow, wow,
Yeah.
wow. But like, unironically, it sounded good. I was like,
Right.
"Damn, like, this
Yeah, you
kind
can
of
get
goes hard."
into it.
I can see myself studying to this. I can see
Yeah.
myself like getting a nap to this, like whatever.
Right.
And so I was like, "Hey, where is it from?" He goes, "Oh, it's from this album. It's long." I go, "It's how long?" "It's 6.5 hours long."
Oh,
And they're like, "No, you're gonna want to actually like sit down, listen to this." I'm like, "All right, fine, sure." Picked a Saturday, got my notebook, and took. Dude, I went from like going into this, going like, "This is fine, this is really good," to like crying my eyes out like for that last like 40 minutes. And those last 40 minutes is just static. But when you know the context of what the album is going for,
uh-huh.
Yeah,
yeah,
the
it is
dementia.
crushing.
It's more for me. It's more depressing than horror.
I think it's a bit of both
yeah.
because with Alzheimer's and with dementia, like, okay, scary, not so fun fact, but like for every year you go above the age of 60 or 70, I think your chances of getting dementia double,
Yeah.
essentially. So it is like,
Yeah.
it is
It's
possible for
almost-
and it's not about staying healthy. It's not
Yeah.
about like, you know, there's no
simply that
combating it.
Your mind can't.
So
It's
it's
really
just-
just
can
a
go on.
percentage.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and so
There's
it's-
nothing you can do to fight it. Once it
Yeah.
happens, you know
Yep.
it happens.
At that point, it's just like you enjoy what little time you have left. You essentially, like, to me at the very least, I see it as like you die before you actually. I
Yeah.
don't like that
Yeah.
all that
The
much.
decaying
That is really
mind.
scary.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So like I haven't listened to it in a minute, but the last time I listened to it, I remember I sat
It's your, it's your Halloween
just-
playlist.
just like this the whole time.
Yeah.
Just like listening to it. But yeah, that's my personal favorite version of analog horror, because I feel like people see it today as just shaky, distorted image with distorted
yeah.
sound,
I
and
don't
it's like
like-
I'm not
yeah,
gonna lie, like
I
that
get it.
is like a good. Unironically, that is a good like 40% of analog horror. I liked Everywhere at the End of Time because it
Mhm.
took music, one thing I love, and it made it
Crushed.
scary, and I don't like it.
Yeah.
You don't
I
like.
like it, but I don't like
I
it.
think the
Yeah.
real horror of Ever at the End of Time is the fact that it's real.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
Like with analog horror, you know, stuff like Mandela Catalog,
Yeah,
that's all fake. But
Mhm.
with you know, Ever at the End of Time, it's real. It can happen to anyone.
It's portraying something that's real. the
Yeah, it's very dark.
The
Like,
big-
you can
the-
really feel.
Oh yeah.
big meme that I found was like, oh, it'd be kind of funny if like, because last thing on this before we move on, apparently to mental health doctors or dementia patients, they recall that dementia patients' last memory is like their favorite song. So like
Wow.
whenever, so like even though like their memories of their loved ones one's passes on and memory of like their own life passes on, they recall hearing their patient like humming their favorite tune. And I'm like, dude, what if like the last tune I'm humming before my dementia takes hold is Everywhere at the End?
Oh my god.
It'd be kind of funny.
That's ironic.
That is ironic.
What about you guys?
Yeah.
What other analog horror do you guys like follow? What is your
Honestly, that I'd agree with that. That's probably one of my faves. Very dark because I feel like the rest aren't like the back rooms and all that. Just like not really into like.
Yeah.
It doesn't really get me.
Yeah, you know, you've seen one, you've seen them all.
No, that's true.
They're very lazy. Very,
Yeah.
I find them very lackluster.
Well, some are actually high quality. It depends on the person creating.
Yeah. Like, dude, the back rooms when it first came out, like it scared me enough, and then the Game Pixels version came, and that was just
That's not as scary anymore. They take the horror out of it.
Yeah.
oh they do, but it's still like it's still interesting because it
Yeah.
applies lore to the back
'Cause
room.
it's like
I like it.
The story now, like an
Yeah.
actual
Yeah.
thing going on.
But the idea of like of liminal spaces to me, I don't.
Oh,
it's just
I
like-
came to school one time like super early. It was
Yeah.
foggy.
Mhm.
Like
Not
I
a
was
single
putting
soul.
I was putting my bike away.
Yeah.
It was foggy. I could barely
Yeah.
see anyone. I'm
Oh
like,
yeah.
it was pretty scary. It was fun.
The dilapidated building.
Yeah,
Dilapidated. Very nice word. It's a
Yeah.
very nice word, Ian.
Yeah.
Really pulling deep in his bag of vocab words. Yeah.
Yeah.
That English showing off
Okay,
right there.
guys. Wow. You get so shocked. I use a word that's more than what, 3 syllables? Jesus.
Yeah, I was
Yeah.
Shut
Check
up,
it.
I had to count. Okay, leave me alone.
for me.
It's like, how many
okay.
syllables is that?
So if we're talking about analog horror, not to toot my own horn, I know a lot of them.
Oh,
I know
okay.
most of the
Okay.
stories to most of them. Personally, if I had to choose between like two of my favorite ones, I'd either say Vita Carnis
Mm.
or what was it, Monument Mythos. They're both really good.
I don't know what those are.
Neither do I. So please
They're
explain.
both analog horror. So if we start off with Monument Mythos, actually that's harder to explain. We'll start with Vita Carnis. Vita Carnis is about living flesh, so to speak.
Living
So
flesh.
it's this there's multiple species of the same like origin. Living flesh, there's stuff that like steal your skin. There's others that you can basically keep as pets, harmless. There's some that what they do is they send out spores. People who inhale them go to them and then die. Or there's
Okay.
there's just other stuff, and it's basically about them like slowly taking over. Pretty interesting.
So like the body snap.
Kind of, yeah, basically.
Skinwalkers.
There's also,
Yeah.
well, because a common theme I see with most analog horrors is like, I guess creatures that can mimic.
Like the
Oh,
mimic, yeah.
yeah.
The mimic itself, yeah.
Shout
But
out
there's also
Mandela.
Ella too.
yeah.
Yeah.
There's also Monument Mythos. And
Yeah.
after
Oh,
there's
okay.
Gemini Home Entertainment.
Yeah.
That one's pretty
Oh,
good.
yeah.
Yeah, I've heard of it.
That one, yeah, that one's good with like the like wood bugs or something.
Mm.
Yeah,
it's a lot of-
It's basically just an
Yeah,
alien
yeah,
invasion.
agreeing with
It's
that.
alien invasion.
Well, what's it called? So that's analog horror. That's more so recent, but there was already a version of that. It's not really analog horror. Or something like that before when we were kids.
Is that now? Let me think.
3 people.
Oh, shout out Slenderman.
Yeah, no.
Yeah.
It's not even that they're different things. It's that it's evolved.
Yeah, it's just
Yeah.
like Creepypasta.
It's a
Yeah.
branch off,
Obvi-
basically.
Yeah, it's evolved into. It's evolved, but backwards.
Yeah.
It has.
It's evil.
No. It hasn't devolved. It's evolved.
It's regressed.
Not really.
Yeah, no, I'm joking.
So evolve backwards. just
As a
means-
kid, my favorite, and AKA like my most scariest one was the Sonic EXE.
God.
Oh
yeah.
my
Because I loved Sonic as
Yeah,
a kid.
Yeah.
So
Sonic's
now I'm
scary.
over here. So now I was over here as a 7-year-old, like Adam Sandler. Sonic is a guy.
Yeah.
But it's just a lot of loud noises and
Yeah, that's really
a
all
lot
it
of
is.
blood. Oh, thank you, Dykeman,
See,
fixing the blood.
thank you. See, actually, I'm more into like story/realistic pastas.
Mm.
Mhm.
Like,
Yeah.
there's one of my favorite. It's called the Tooth Fairy.
Oh, I think I've heard of the one, but I don't know. I don't know exactly.
Basically, it's about this girl who tells the story of her childhood, where as a child she lived,
Mm.
and her parents weren't.
They fed her Taco Bell Crunchwrap Supreme.
Yeah,
Horrible
That-
parents.
yeah. Let's say that Taco Bell made her teeth fall out. You know,
Yeah, that is what Taco Bell is known
They,
to do.
they lived behind a Taco Bell.
it wasn't
bag.
it wasn't actually
Right.
Taco Bell, but you know, it involved a hand and a father. Anyways,
What do you
she
mean by that?
lost teeth,
Huh?
and seeing as she was still a child, put them under her bed. Wake up the next day, there was nothing. She tells her friend, "Hey, what happened?" Her friend was like, "Well, leave the window open."
Oh.
So as a child, she leaves the window wide open.
You
Uh-huh.
The next day, the next day, fat stack of cash.
Oh.
So basically, she tells her parents, "Hey, I got money." They take it from
I
her.
got money.
Why would you? Why?
I don't.
Why
she
would
would
you-
try-
Because they're evil,
Yeah.
greedy,
Yeah.
selfish
No, 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 no.
parents.
I don't mean that. I don't mean her parents taking it. I mean, why would you? Your
Oh, yeah,
parents.
why would you
why?
do
She
that?
was excited. I'm assuming.
Yeah.
But
It's
Idiot.
little.
basically, it's gotten to the
Dummy.
point where her parents keep using her,
Mhm.
and she loses more teeth.
Mhm.
Eventually, it got so bad to where she was barely able to crawl to her.
Oh my God.
Mind you, the detail was crawling to her room without a blanket, just laying on the floor.
Oh man.
Lost tooth, says out loud, "If your tooth fairy, help me." I think when she wakes up, cop finds her wrapped in a blanket on her
wow.
bed. Turns out her parents just,
They're
They
dead.
died. Oh,
Yeah.
wow.
No, she got help.
and it turns out
Mm.
tooth fairy, quote unquote.
Mhm.
So I don't know. There's something about that realistic horror that just
Mhm.
gets me.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
I
Something-
get it.
That's
I
very
don't know.
interesting.
I'm more of a grounded in reality.
And you never actually
Yeah.
see anything happen. It's just
Yeah,
you're
it's
speculating.
implied.
You're left
Yeah.
speculating.
Yeah.
Which is what I love
And that's
about
what
that.
horror is.
All about.
The unknown,
Exactly.
right?
I
Not
love cosmic
not
horror.
like, oh, jump scare, flashy image with loud sound. Oh, look, blood all over the place.
Mhm.
Static
that,
image.
yeah,
That's what I feel like a
No,
lot of it
implication
is.
that
It's
it's real
terrible.
and it can happen to any one of us at any
Exactly.
time.
What do you think,
Exactly.
Alika? What was your favorite creepypasta as a kid?
Honestly, I don't know. Like none of these. I've never heard of these. That's very interesting.
Slenderman, I know
The
was a
classic.
popular
Slenderman, yeah,
one.
for sure. I think that one's the one that got me.
Classic.
Was a
I
classic.
heard
Yeah,
that one had
The
a good
Tooth
one.
Fairy wasn't a really popular one. It
The
was
one-
more like a
I don't
Yeah, I
know what
never
that
really heard
was.
of that.
Yeah.
Really interesting.
What was the one with? I'm really bad at
What
context.
did
He had a white like hoodie on, and
Jeff
like
the Killer.
Jeff-
there we go. Yeah.
Jeff the Killer.
The
My name is
original
Jeff.
Immediately,
picture.
as soon as I heard White Hoodie.
No, it wasn't it was his face.
Oh yeah. It was just
No, but he also had a white hoodie.
Yeah.
he also had a white hoodie. The story was
Okay.
that like I don't know, he was a kid and then like he had bleach spilled on him. And
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, he's the Joker, and it's like no, well, like, kinda.
No,
If the Joker laughed
Yeah.
a whole lot less and just did a lot more stabby.
in a
So I
comic
think he
sort of
would've done-
way.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
basically.
All right, well,
Man.
what's it called? I think we can end this.
We're gonna end
That's
this
all
one
we have.
tonight.
Yeah.
Cockroach is
Cockroaches.
dancing. I don't know what he's doing. He's
They're
doing
going up
doing
the-
this, doing that.
Hey, yo, something smells stanky over there, man. Might want to get a check. Something smells stanky.
Ooh.
Y'all can't see it, but the
Cockroach is
cockroach is getting
dancing.
down.
He's
Ooh, kill him,
dancing.
cockroach. Kill him.
Don't hurt him.
All right, well,
Kill him.
that's gonna be it for today. Happy Halloween, everyone.
Have a good
Happy
Halloween.